reason for the life that you live, and there's a pleasing that I know you can give.
Oh man, if we could have imagined then what really was going on in the 60s, man. But we all kind of felt it, you know. It was, Joni Mitchell and Johnny Rivers sung our heart out, man. We knew, we felt it, you know, about 65, about the time In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida came out. We felt it. I mean, all of us in this generation felt a new life arising in our heart and soul. And we just couldn't be depressed about it anymore. We couldn't take the shit of the old black and white warlike reality. This didn't resonate with our heart and soul. And even though they were shoving Vietnam down our throat and killing off our buddies and our friends and sending the rest of them back psychologically damaged forevermore, man, the reparations of that war still going on to this day. But there was a wave of love underway. We knew it. Despite all the ugliness and the difficulty going on and all the CIA psyops and all the bullshit in the reality, you know, and how manipulated people thought this generation was when really, in reality, we were finally coming awake enough to let go of the manipulation. It had been going on in humanity forever. The real blood-sucking thieves had snuck into the outhouse there, man. They took away the toilet paper, and humanity been living in pain ever since, man. But finally we got some refinement going on, learned how to wipe our butt again, and get on with life in a more joyous aspect, in a more happy-hearted sort of way. Now, babies, that's your own-hearted play. It's the wave of love, you know, that began there in the 60s. That's you. And me too, but we were all in this together. As a human presence, as a human heart, we decided by then enough is enough. We're coming back as the angels of the morning this time. The divine generation that's still known as the love generation. That had actual love-ins in this reality and shit. Hang on a sec. I gotta go let my little doggy in here. He's a-begging at the door saying, I want more, more, more. And it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. We can't let him freeze to death out there. Hang on, baby. I'm getting to it. Just like Sonny Pruitt, do it. Yes, indeed. Come on, Mr. Obi-Wan, come over here. The dog of the year, man. Yeah, I'm going to put him on Time Magazine. I know. I think he gets the cover of the Rolling Stone this year, don't you, Okie buddy? Yes, you do. I think he's getting the cover of the Rolling Stone through and through. Come here, buddy. Let's show him what you do. Come on, get over here. There you are. Yeah, now life is back to resonating in a more proper reality. You know, Okie knows that he's really loved, and, you know, he's part of the show, man. He is my assistant DJ throughout, you know, and he just had to run outside to have a little smoke break himself, you know, but now he's back here in the existential reality of the ever-loving heart of dog, which is, you know, always united, of course, in the great spirit of the wheel in the sky, the center of the very love from which the universe arises is dog. Yeah, well, it's Koyote, but that's dog, D-O-G, man. Yeah, God spelled backwards. The coyote nature, the upside down love that's visible and what makes it all right side up, you see. It's just a matter of letting the vision clear. It's, you know, it's like just laying there in the sunshine like a dog in the street, man, where there ain't no traffic, and just soaking it up. And just being alive and content with all the scents and smells of the wild reality around you that you're taking in, along with the glow of the sun and the resonating heart of the Mother Earth coming up right through your belly into the bones of your existential love. I mean, there's not a more love and happy place to be than that contented old dog lying there in the middle of the road, in the middle of a sunny day, man, just soaking it all in and loving it up. You're out there like maybe 3,000 feet elevation over there in the Pacific Coast Mountains, a nice little ranchy valley that's hidden away from reality, man. Shit, yeah. And that's where it all begins, babies. It really does. If there's a beginning to it, that's where it begins, in that shiny little valley there that's out there hidden away from everybody and everything, and hardly anybody in the whole world knows about it, man. Yet everybody in the world feels it, because it's like one of those places where the heart of the earth just arises in a far more visible presence. You feel safe out there. It's the jungle, man, you know, and it's a ruggedy reality, and people tend to stay out of there, you know. It's the wilderness, man. But right in the middle of that's this shiny little jewel of love, you know, that may not exist there anymore, but that's another story for another day. Today it exists. Today it's still that way, you know. And it was a great place for a beginning for a human heart and soul that was like, you know, the faithful old dog that couldn't let go no matter what happened to him. Rock and roll, man, you know, beat me some more. I'm getting on with the show, man. Yeah, I learned a resilience by living a ruggedy sort of life, and then I wound up in this gem and jewel of a place, man. And it's like my own little private kingdom. I lived a richer life than most billionaires could ever dream of, and I didn't have to put but just a few bucks in it, you know, to make it happen, man. And I was there. I was going to live in that paradise forever. And let me tell you, it was raw and real and natural and a ruggedy life, because you didn't have the normal utilities and shit that, you know, people enjoy out there. It's kind of pioneering sort of way to live in the 20th century, man. Yes, indeed. But God, what a gift from life. What a great place to find the gem of reality. To find the beginning of the human heart once again inside of my own little human presence. To know that the realities had emerged in union way back in those days then, and see how that exponentiated forward from the 60s, how it all had a rhythm and flow to it, all came together in just the right way at just the right time. You know, and it just in just the right place, that little gem and jewel of a valley out there in the middle of nowhere, man. So hidden that even the satellites don't know it's there, yet you can see it from the satellites, you know. Okay, you're not going to do that right now. Just lay down here in love right now, okay? Yeah. The angels, man, live there just like they do here. You know, they like the higher places. They hang out in the mountains, in the high prairies. You know, that's where you're in the wilderness areas. That's where you find the heart of Mother Earth revealing herself far more greatly than she ever does when in an urban reality. Though some of them are pretty in charm too. I'm thinking of Boulder, Colorado. The wildlife seemed to get along right there in the middle of that urbania. It's amazing. Doesn't happen too often in this reality, but perhaps it's getting more that way all across the planet. Because we really are emerging. As we get more consciously present, just in general as human beings, a few of us wake up, in other words, the general tone of the vibration of the whole human existence changes, you know. And we arise in a love swell like has never been seen before. You know, because this whole brutal side of reality just simply dissolves away. It doesn't exist. It's just a choice we made, a presence of life. You see, and the more deeply rooted we find ourselves in the role of life that we've been living, the more innocent we find ourselves in it, the more we can let go of it. Because, see, there is a reality beyond this one, the place where everything's created. But it's not separate from us, not any longer than it ever really was. We live in it. We are it. It resonates through us as our general center part of creation. Because everyone is, in their own sense, all right there, that divine center of presence. You see, that's the conscious awakening humanity deserves now for itself. It's paid enough. You know, I see geniuses arising from the jungles of Africa and all them starved children that ain't so starved anymore, etc. I see divine miracles present everywhere. A letting go of that judgmental, bigoted bullshit that's gone on here, and all the ascendant, creepy, frickin' bullshit to go with it. You know, this that says, oh, Earth has to purify herself once again through a great war before we'll even the score. And that's the biggest crock of horse shit. Or we have to go through some kind of horrendous disaster of a similar sort. And, you know, I wish people wouldn't hold that in their heart, because that really isn't the truth anymore. Now, we've paid those prices before. If you want to remember it, you can. If you want to go live it again, be my guest. Me, you know, like most of my presence of my generation in the 60s, as we began to awaken, or at least began at the edges of the awakening process. You know, we knew there was something far greater than what we were seeing around us. And we knew it was coming present. We knew we could change the world. And we knew we were doing it. Even though we got the shit kicked out of us in the long run, and, you know, the harsh realities swallowed us up, and, you know, everybody started getting competitive and turn Republican on us and get uptight in the 80s, you know. There was still a lot of good rock and roll, so there was still the movement of the heart going on. Nobody ever let go of that dream, that divine presence. They just surrendered to the untruthfulness for a while. But in so doing, you never surrendered your heart presence. That's why I could never comfortably settle down in any presence in that experiential reality of such a harsh economic truth. In my heart, I just rebelled. I just could not be that harsh person. And I could pay my dues to it and show my respects and try to accommodate myself in it in ways that were creative. I had to say the least, but I could never really be it. I just couldn't live in it. It wasn't my world, and therefore I didn't resonate well in it. I mean, I had this youthful exuberance that I carry to this day, to this moment, because I knew in my heart that this was coming real, and I would just play acting my ways, just doing what I had to do to get through. And you can call it play acting if you want. I felt it as a reality, but I had this ability to adapt into different environments, and I would go through a lot of sudden changes in my reality, you know, where all of a sudden this was not there and that was, you know. It was like one of those moments when I wound up on that rancho in that little valley there in the middle of nowhere, the primitive side of southern Oregon, man. Jeez, oh, what a divine blessing that was. Again, what a great place for a beginning of humanity, you know. I was just working on my About page today over there on the CoyoteClub.com. That's what brought all that into conscious presence within me. What a significant and divine moment we lived in that place, you know. The whole experience of it, I just spent a few years there, but oh my God, it was like, you know, what I'd come for, I fully received and then some, you know. And then I began to share this gift to the world around me in a very real sort of way, and a lot of people weren't quite ready for it. Even had an exponential radio show on K-How and K-Talk there in Denver, Colorado back in the later 90s, man, you know. Blew their jets, man, blew mine too, but had a lot of fun with it. But, you know, it was a ripening of a season. It was the catching of the wave on the foamy side of it. I was a little ahead of the rest of the flow, you know. But somebody had to be there to do it, so I did it, man, don't you know. You know, and I have to kind of swing around through life and just keep coming back to that moment again and again. But that's where it all begins for me as a person. And in a personal sort of way, the earth presence that lives within me too, the Mary Jane aspect, began its reunion with my heart in those times, you know, because I had felt quite separate from her, and that's why I had to smoke pot, was to get real with the reality around me, to understand what the reality was really trying to tell me, you know, because I didn't get it. I knew I was enthused, and I knew I was trying to get along, but I just didn't get it for the longest of time, man, you know. But I become the party clown. That's how I managed to bounce through it, you know. If you're a clownish sort, they let you get away with shit. You know, and you can say things you otherwise could. You can expel energies into this reality that you otherwise couldn't do. And, you know, it's mostly going on in a sub-psychological process. I call it the process of releasing or letting go. You know, you start out in kind of a tawdry way. You get really compressed in your younger days. And then the rest of your life is about releasing the compression. So you take on a heavy load because you know you're durable enough to do it. And then, you know, you just, little by little, through all this strange activity and all these wild changes in your life and this unending feeling that you're going to get it one way or another in this life, and you never let go of that, you know, which drives you to some really wild places. You make moves other people couldn't even dream of doing in life. Extreme turns. And you just adapt right into it and go with the flow, and you do all right, man, you see. That's how I got through it, man, you know. But I can see now, pure as day, is a ripening of the heart that brought me to that moment, which then become this moment, which is right now. It lives forever when hearts are in union, when there is a moment of union. That's a letting go then of the Moment of separation, the very idea of it evaporates in that union, you see. It's acknowledgement then of what's already present. The truth. The living love is in you and everything else too. Everything that lives and surrounds you. Just like in that magic little valley. That's the way I began to experience life, because it was willing to reveal itself to me there. It's far enough away from everything we could get away with it. And God, what a gorgeous blessing it shared with me. Returned me to life. Brought me back to being. And I knew then that what we started in that wave of the 60s was a very real thing. It wasn't just a dream, a bunch of happy hippies getting high and making love in the moonlight, man, or the sunlight, or whatever. Though that was a good part of it, too. And God, I bless those moments for being there, because they really did help the love wave along, It's a love in now that's expanded worldwide, and it's going in. It's coming on strong, Merry Christmas and ho, ho, ho. And away we go on this holiday season, don't you know? Time for the gift of the centuries, of the eternities, to be well given and well received here, wouldn't you say? This is what waking up is all about. It's about the reward side of things. It's not about being degenerative anymore, no matter how degenerative we might have been or might still be to this very moment. That's over with. This is the moment. This is now. This is when the treasure comes alive inside and your conscious presence begins to experience itself as it truthfully is. It's the melting away of a reality, an unreality. You see, the more rooted we are in that role again, the more we get to see what a role we've been playing. The more we let go then. You see, that's the innocence, when you understand the nature of the actor. When you catch old Lee Van Cleef and you catch on that he's really not such an evil asshole after all. That looks rotten as hell in the movies, but when you get to know the guy in person, he's pretty nice. And he likes to party at disco parties and shit. I mean, just like he's a human being. He's full of love just like everybody else, and just trying to live to be able to express it sometime. This dark old reality. It wasn't so dark now then as it is even now, yet because of that extreme darkness we got the bright light. See, it's one and the same, and one kind of cancels out the other, and they both just become this harmonic resonance at the center of everything that lives. I call it the heart, the mother heart, the vibrational tone from which all life arises and becomes the symphony of life, the singular little energy that's the steady love that keeps us going forever. No matter what else is going on in your reality, man, We can be challenged here, but we can't be challenged in the heart. That's just simply a reality. It's something we live in. That's that ethereal energy, that ocean of love, the water of life that we're made of. All life is. That glittering, glowing 420 that lives forever. The Sangre de Cristo that transforms it all. God, you ought to watch the sunrise here this morning. It was spectacular. And it's reddish gold arousal. Yeah, it spreads across the valley below me there, and just made the whole valley glow reddish gold, man. Sangre de Cristo all across the San Luis Valley, man. I tell you, what a rockin' reality we live in. I could see the transformation right there in that simple sunrise. Probably made that way by the very chems they're spraying in the atmosphere, trying to shut things down here and turn it around to quote their way. Craziness, baby. Life is in everything, and life that becomes conscious is life that's conscious in everything. See, that's why you allow this to be. So then even little tiny particles that are meant to poison your atmosphere and kill your reality are all about transforming it, just adding life to it, giving it a far grander demonstration, just like what we saw this morning with the sunrise. A life you can see as real and experience as a resonating energy. It resonates well with yours. You start to fit in. You start to feel a part of the essential reality, and then you start to catch on that is the reality you live in, that it's your own. You live it real personal, but yet exponentially with everything that lives. It's a shared experience, lived in a personal way, a really different formation in the beginning of times. This had never been heard of, or seen of, or thought of before. To live as a personal person, to experience in a real personal way. The grander part of the collective, of course, but to have it all habitated in a personal experience. That for a while would feel isolated and alone until it got used to it and understood the unity in its personal experience, the replication of the universes, in other words. And then when it did, the person could be in the universe, all the universe, as well as the personal person, and all persons here could receive of it in the same way, and each being and presence then would gain a more divine presence of appreciation, an attitude of gratitude that would develop feeling, depth in the harmony of life, living emotion that could bubble up like the wellspring of love that it was and become the sparkling champagne of life that it is. The most delicate, bubbly, sip of that and you're done forever, man. You're there in the atmosphere of love, man. That ocean from which we all arise. It is kind of like champagne bubbles, too. It has many metaphorical aspects. I'm sure I'll describe 500 million of them here before we're all done with it, 'cause I get tireless when it comes to this shit. I just go, go, go. 5 days a week, don't you know? Even with the Okie one laying here in my lap, all needy and greedy, say, I need your love, I need your love. I need your love too, babies. I'm as greedy as he is, That way I can be a black hole, man. I just draw the presence of your love in. But then what do? Explode it back out again. You never keep anything to yourself. That's only the greedy and needy that do that. And they're getting over that shit, And I know you've had to rock that way sometimes in your life. Shit, so have I, man. The economic presence can be all too real sometimes. What a pain in the ass. But listen, we got through it. Who cares? It's over with now. We don't have to even the score. Just be what you are forevermore, man. Let go of the role, and the heartache goes right along with it, man. And you're just okay. And so's the reality around you. We just lay down there and dream it the way we want it to be, or actually wake up and live the dream we've always knew we'd have. Because we brought it here with us, because that's our living truth. That Lemurian love, baby, carrying us along the way. And yeah, I know, babies, you think it was an existence in the earth reality, and in a sense it is, but in a sense it ain't, You expand yourself just a wee bit, you start to see what I mean. We perceive it from here as a city of light in the sky. And that's what some people have been trying to replicate. But when you see this one, there's no mistaking it. This is not something that can be duplicated in any way or holographically represented, because it's reality, probably the center of it, from our perspective anyway, because that's our city of light. It's a place where human habitation began, and from that expanded into that Lemurian reality that I talk about, of the whole continental presence all the way around the earth. There was no separation or division of it anywhere. There were mighty rivers and so forth, and oceans surrounding it, of course. But it was a singular piece of rock, man. Rock and roll. Just like it's becoming right here, right now, on this Koyote Medicine Show. Only on the Hazy Radio Network, your experience with life. Becoming real now, babies, And how? It's where the rubber hits the road, and the bullshit goes flying, and baby, it becomes the fertile fields of life. It just does nothing but contribute to it, The more they BS us, the less we hear of it, man. It's passing away in its own way. And it ain't they and us, it's all of us. Just letting go of our old ways. That's all. Waking up and flying right finally for the first time in forever. I'd say it's about time, wouldn't you, babies? Okay. Well, just let it keep flowing through you into this reality, and you'll have it the way you want it. The way we always dreamed it to be. And so it is and so it shall be because you said so, man. And I did too. Right here on the Hazy Radio Network. Yeah. Baby's just posted up on a poster somewhere. Make it a meme on your Facebook page. Love rocks, love rules. All the rest of you get out of the way. We're not such silly fools. We're here to play and have a damn good time. Rock and roll is the music and the medicine of our soul. The music therapy of our heart. Where we start to rock, we start to dance, we start to live life as the flowing fountain of youth that we are, man. A living work of art. Yes. Art in motion. See, it's creation. That's artistic. That's the artist in you, creating what it lives in. Beautiful drama that it is. Poetic as all get out. And perfect to help you ripen right into what you are right now. Because all of it led to that. This moment. Now. And how. So says Grandpa, handing you the sweetness of another plateful of Koyote medicine served with the most dignified of love. Yes, indeed. Babies, we love you. That's all we can say. And we are that love that you are. In each and every way. Hey, babies, we fly together united. I don't care what the airline says.
This could be hell.
Hey, and I'd like to give happy hippie thanks to the cavalry that came to our rescue yesterday and dealing with our technological issues here on the Koyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. A little issue came up, kept us off the air for a day, but we happily resolved it in the evening yesterday. Here we are this morning, back in the saddle again, rocking away. Your happy little heart coming out to play, 'cause it feels safe to do so. Grandpa provides this big old curtain of love from 9,000 feet above. Looks like a rainbow surrounding you, don't you know? You feel that? You see that? Yeah, that's the glow of the heart, baby. That's your reality too, man. But because that surrounds you, everything's going your way and nothing can get in the way, no matter what it is, wouldn't you say? 'Cause your heart will always have its way. That's the way we live from day to day, man. That's the way we have always lived. The heart, even when it had to choose the lesser of two evils and shit, always has its way. Always. 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 And we're just awakening to the fact of that divine little presence that makes it so inside of our humble little hearts as human beings, don't you know? See, that's why we missed it so long. We got all fat and sassy in our brassiness and our big broad assiness and became like kind of lonely because of it, because we couldn't relate to our reality anymore. We were bigger than our reality. We were better than it. We could trash and tarnish it or build it up as we pleased, We were a bunch of dumb little fumble butts there for the longest of time, But in a way, still connected dynamically to our heart. And therefore somewhat aware and present even in our destructive tendencies, man. So we got through it. We stayed alive despite the dumbest forms of creation ever committed to life. I mean, we were dumber than Cro-Magnon ever dreamed of being. That's simple intelligence that knows what it's here to do and it does it. Real simple, and it loves it. See, that's far more intelligent than the shit we've been seeing going on around us for a while now, huh? How about that? I don't know how many of you have seen it. If you have the chance, you gotta have a few hours. But Dr. Greer, Stephen Greer, did a November 21 exposition. Kind of a long talk about what's really been going on here in the background, governmentally and so forth. And in the secret space program and all that skullduggery that goes with it. It's really an interesting revelation, man. If you don't already know that shit, and if you do know it, it'll just reiterate what you already know. It gives it kind of a place in the material reality, but it's a place to deal with it. Not a place to just let it be and go be horrified by it and all that shit. No way, man. It's all about letting it go. See, it's meaningless in a way. The reason being that as we settle into our presence, our heart arises and dispenses with time. So there is no space. You see, I often metaphorically describe it as Mother Earth turning her ass to the sun and they just join together, man. Well, it's kind of like that in a material reality. It just dissolves into what it really is. And the true perspective then is known and lived in. And it's just really a simple choice that was made in the human heart. So long ago we forgot that we'd even done that. That we'd said to ourselves at one point, in this presence, that's enough, we're done. And we're stepping out of it, we're coming back to life. And we did it for the sake of the universe, which is us, of course, as a person. So we did it for ourselves too. But not in that selfish way that we've been taught to see as beneficial, when it really ain't. When you feel empty, well, then all you can do is be ravenous. I mean, that's what happens. And you behave accordingly, and it gets warped and all out of shape, and creates a lot of misery for everybody. But when you become compassionate, let's just say, when you become awake and you are conscious of your presence of life and everything around you, well, then you're quite naturally in a far more agreeable position with it. And so no matter what you've been doing in the past that was so starkly ugly and just mean and disharmonious, whatever, it ain't there no more. You're living it far different. It's just like you changed paradigms. It's a shift in characteristics completely, because you see it differently. You live it differently, and this makes the most sense to you now, just like that did then. The harsher path had its reason and logic now, didn't it? I mean, there was always justification to everything that we did, or we wouldn't have been doing it. Somehow inside of ourselves we said, this is okay because. And usually some damn compromise we're making somewhere. Not always, but quite often it is. But if them compromises as God is here, without compromising, we wouldn't know that we could. We wouldn't know that life could be compromised. We were that innocent about it. That wet behind the ears as we began many, many, many generations back as the first presences of the denser form of humanity. The age of darkness became our reality. Whew. What a divine experience it's been, babies. It's a blessing to let it go. Realize that and you're okay. Nothing can keep us. Nothing can hold us. No matter what it is or how horrifying it, quote, quote, was. W-A-Z. I put the Z's on because I like it phonetic, man. But anyway, was. W-A-S if you're going to be English and proper. That means it don't exist except as a memory. A cosmic memory. A part of what we call the Akashic journey. As opposed to records. Because it's a living present still. All moments past, present, future are existing in that Akashic way. That means they exist forever. But they stay in their place, see? And we're the ones outside of time now that, get to stand back and admire our creation now. So we can be more fully present in it, you see? So it becomes kind of like what we've lived in duality, only now it's double vision, united in the center heart. The triality, the innocent eye at the center of everything, that sees everything, that is everything. The innocent eye, E-Y-E, that sees all is all. Because that is the perception that creates it. And it's where all love flows from, that essential eye, E-Y-E. And metaphorically, a lot of people have tried to express it in a more negative sort of way. And claim to be more present in it than others are, and more privileged, therefore, because of it. There have been those kind of claims made here, that kind of activity's gone on here. And who the hell cares? It's not happening now. Enough is enough. It's over with. And how? Because you can let it go inside of you. Don't hold the contempt anymore. I know it's been a contemptible thing, and I myself have been as guilty as anyone, if you gotta have guilt, of holding a grudge against that kind of presence. I really thought it was perverted. Well, obviously it is, of course. But it doesn't mean you have to, condemn it, or the people within it or behind it. It means there's something there we don't quite yet understand about ourselves, but we're figuring it out. And we've chosen this way to display it to ourselves so we can remember it when we get through it and not have to repeat such nasty things again. Just let it go. Be done with it. See, secrecy is the opposite of truth. It's not just a lie, it's a deception. You know, it's a denial. You can't live in a state of denial any longer and be present in this earth anymore. It just don't work that way. Such is the significance of the shift already. December 1, we start to have fun. This is when the reality starts to catch on to itself. And babies, the joke's on us always, and you got to learn to laugh with it. Stop hating yourself for it, so you'll stop hating others too. You can't hate yourself like that and expect to live. You won't. You won't have any kind of a life. You don't anyway. That one's easy to give up. You know, it really is, when you see the love in the hate. How greatly you loved hating. That's why you embraced it. It gave you some kind of love to live on now, didn't it? Perverted as it might have been. See, it happens when you live in a reflective reality like a house of mirrors, which this has been. Otherwise, such horror and terrible things could not exist. Just like the movies can create it a hell of a lot worse in fantasy than we ever dreamed of in reality. You know? Yet, the two can become the same as we saw in that treachery of World War II and subsequent warfare since then, in a smaller way, my ass. We've had enough, kids. We've let it go. We don't live like that dumbed down stupidity anymore. We're the rock and roll of the heart of reality, man. We're the truth that sets ourselves free. And that's the only way we're going to expect. You want change around, you got to set yourself free first and foremost. I mean, you can't do anything. So give up the ghost, baby. Let go of the rock and reality that you've been living in so you can live in the one that's real. And it'll be far more rocking. It's a far better deal. I don't care how well you're positioned in this life. I mean, some people are clever enough to really get equitous about it and get themselves taken care of so they can take care of others, and that's a beautiful thing, but it's kind of harsh. You know, we don't have to live like that anymore. We don't have to give in order to be able to share. We don't have to give up anything. Yet we let it all flow through us. We're giving of everything. So everything's given back to us, see? Time to remember how it is to live in the flow, to be the mighty river of love, the heart, and not just humanity, but of everything. The heart of creation, the river of life, of love flowing through every one of us as a person, into the reality in which we live. Ho, ho, ho! Let's get on with the show, wouldn't you say? Because we got a whole lot more to go here. Yes, indeed. This Koyote way. Which is beautiful, man. That's why we did it this way. And we personified it in the Koyote medicine, the Koyote animal and the Koyote medicine, the energy of Koyote, to remind us of the Koyote nature of our way. How the joke's always on us. But in the joke we gain the understanding. When we learn to laugh, we learn to love. We know what love is. We lighten up. We start to see what we feel. And what we feel becomes real then. And we understand our feeling. That it is the source of creation. It's the harmony by which the determination of creation is that we live in. And if we want to live in a more truthful stance, we can do so at any time. Just by allowing our feeling to be real. And when you live in a reality, well, son of a gun, that makes it right, don't it? How about that? It goes around in clever big circles like that, but they always lead back to the same place. That's why I keep telling you can't outrun it. It's here to stay. It's just like Rocky and Bullwinkle, we love to play. Olay, when you say here, oh, it's a beautiful old tripping Tuesday and we're tripping you out right now with your morning wake-up call. Surrendered with sweetness and love and light and all that good shite. Because we're your buddies. We're your friends. We're your compatriots in life. We're your heart. We're your soul. We are everything that lives, don't you know? Speaking in a unified sort of way. We get to comically play. Because we're the spiritual bad boy. Got the Koyote Medicine Show underway. Only on the Hazy Radio Network. You want to get clear, stay tuned in here, man. More of the 2 hours that makes your heart lodge. more of the rock for your soul. It rattles your reality, don't you know, and gets you moving just a wee bit now, don't it? Oh, yeah. You're learning to appreciate love now, man. You're starting to understand what it might just be.